fucking crazy. Here we are at a buddy of mine's, and we'll be changing out the gasket. Blown out. Got no boost. So let's get to it. So the turbo is off, guys. Here we have it. And we discovered the reason why the gasket was out. I'm ashamed to say, for all the hater that I'm gonna get, but there was only one bolt holding on to that fucking manifold. So yeah, turbo was about to fall on the damn ground. So there goes the gasket. So we're gonna have to pay a visit to our local retail, get some nuts, some lock wash, some Loctite, and get it put on, all put together so we can head out. But yeah, so. Hey, what is up? Here we are another day. We're gonna work on the EG hatch. Pretty much gonna catch you up to speed to where I've been over these past few days. I hadn't been able to blog. My camera took a dump, and this is pretty much on my iPhone. So we're gonna have to go through for a few days on iPhone footage before I could get myself a new camera. But back to the Honda Civic. So what have we missed? A couple of things. My driver window, it wouldn't go all the way down. It would only go about halfway. So a buddy of mine was actually selling some used parts from his old EG hatch, and I bought that, well, can't remember the name of it, but pretty much a little metal deal that goes on the inside, and mine was bent as shit. Put that one in. Now the window goes all the way up and all the way down. You have no idea how cool of an upgrade that was for me, simply because now I can go through drive-thrus and I don't have to open up my door like an idiot. Number two, a friend of mine didn't like my seat covers, which is that one, and she went and bought me these, and I thought that was really cool. Came with the carpets, so some rice upgrades. You know, it's funny, even if you buy a cigarette lighter, you just feel so cool because you feel like you're upgrading something for your ride. Anyhow, see the engine bay. Oh, in case you're wondering, yep, I took her to the racetrack. Questions. Man, you know, when you go to the racetrack and you haven't been there in so long, you forget actually how difficult it is. You don't just drive on the street. It's a whole different ball game. And I went in there thinking, you know, I'm going to run 500 miles an hour, and boy, was I totally wrong. In a nutshell, this is pretty much the way it went down. First pass, lined up, revved up off that two-step or whatever you call it. When I let that clutch out, yeah, that was a big mistake, man. I got bad wheel hop. I mean, the entire car felt like it was just going to break. So I ended up pedaling it and just coasting through. I didn't even race the first race. Second race, I took off like if I was at a traffic light, just as slow as possibly could be. I think my 60 foot was like a 2.9. Put it in a second, and then finally got into boost, and like that, it ran a 14.9 at 99 miles an hour. So this could be a 13-second car with the setup that it has on 6 pounds of boost, simply with a driver mod and a couple of more passes for consistency. Anyways, for those of y'all that are saying, oh man, just freaking rip it, let it rip, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? Third race, I did. I went back for one last pass. I was going to do 3 passes. I did. Tragedy struck. Took off great in first, even got to boost the last 2,000 RPMs. And as soon as I put it in second, I dumped that clutch out. Shifter went straight to the ground, man. I freaking pulled a shift linkage right out of the freaking socket. So there I was while the track officials were pushing me off the track. It was pretty embarrassing, man, to say the least. Luckily, you know, a cool Samaritan there had a jack, lifted it up. I had some tools in the back of my trunk and put the shift linkage back on and brought it home. But the crazy part is my turbocharger, since the turbo is this way, or it's supposed to be this way, but I ended up putting it this way. The downpipe came out this way, so I took it to a machine shop. They cut it, spun it the other way around to go out the back, and then he tacked it because I was just running downpipe. Well, I went later on to that same machine shop, and he gave me another 4-foot extension to run to the back. I totally didn't have him re-weld where he had put those tacks. So when that shift linkage fell, my entire exhaust system fell, bro. My entire exhaust system fell on the ground. Like, you could imagine your car, freaking exhaust just falling out the rear end, bro. It was crazy. It was funny, crazy, crazy experience. But anyhow, so I drove it home. Now, here's the funny part. I want to show you this. This is the funny part. Funny part is I only have this much exhaust, you know. It goes right here, and that's where it broke. I went to a buddy's so we could TIG weld it. We all already had a couple of beverages in us. There's like 6 of us. We all took turns, man, just tack welding it. Oh, I wish I would have caught that on footage, but hey, they're not the prettiest welds, but they're definitely the strongest. Oh my god, look at that, dude. Isn't that so cool, man? Like, all your friends taking turns tacking your exhaust. Yeah, we kind of just made a mess. But you know what, man? I don't even think I'm gonna clean that up. I'm gonna leave it there because it's kind of like Tomater says, you know, those are the stories. But yeah, I decided not to put the whole exhaust on, so it literally just runs like, I don't know, 12 inches straight down. What was happening is, since this was all that was on there and I had to drive it home, I don't know if you can see that there, but all this area right here of my fan shroud is completely melted away. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's completely melted away. And on top of that, as it was melting, as I was driving, the fan's spinning, and it's just like all the way home, dude. So it was definitely an experience. I ended up making a quick adjustment here to the spark plug boot. And I don't know if you can notice it, but it kept popping up. So I busted out my little buck knife and freaking cut out all the over freaking foreskin, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, man. So all that happened in a matter of like 3 days. So today we're doing one more little mod, and I'm going to use my cell phone for that to catch myself doing it. But got some new mirrors. Apparently the car that I got it from used to be orange. But let me show you why. This car, yeah, it has no adjustment. The mirror moves under the wind. It closes under the wind. Like, it's just not good. The other one, I can never get the mirror to stay straight. So I just shoved some good old paper towel under there to hold it up. And yeah, it doesn't work either. So yeah, got myself a nice little rattle can, flat black. And let's paint some mirrors. Finally, some decent mirrors. Sweet. So this is one of the mechanisms that I bought also. The passenger door didn't have the lock mechanism on it, so I got that. I got the 2 mirrors. And I got an extra door. Freaking door is in perfect condition. Perfect condition. Only flaw is it's green, but no big deal in comparison to my door. Get that big ass dent. That's super scuffed there. Big little dent here. So when the time comes, get to paint this whip, just change the door out. This is the only imperfected part. I don't know if you could buy the whole quarter panel, whatever, but it's gonna certainly go through a lot of Bondo. But anyhow, so yeah, 2 birds with 1 stone. Putting on some new door lock levers and getting that mirror on here in just a sec. It's just 3 little bolts. This just snips off. You just snap it right off, and then it'll expose the 3 bolts in the back. That's it. 8mm bolts, and your mirror comes right off. Piece of pie.